Hello, my fellow modeling and tabletop gaming enthusiasts, and welcome to the Mediocre Modeler Show 400 subscriber special. So, ever since just yesterday, when I put out the interview with Pete from Warlord Games, added on at least 10 or 15 subscribers. So we broke 400. So we're going to go ahead and do the 400 subscriber special while I'm here on vacation. So I actually recorded this video last week before I left, so I'd have some content built up in case I needed to release something if I wasn't able to get the interview out on time, which thankfully I was, because it was awesome. So thanks again to Pete and all the rest of the team at Warlord that's working on Konflikt 47. I know it's been a huge team effort, and they've done just a great job putting it together, and I still can't wait. And keeping with that same theme, so for the 400 subscriber special, we're going to go ahead and take a look at what I've got together so far for my Konflikt 47 Axis army. So without any further ado, let's head a couple hundred miles back home to the bench, and let's take a look at what I've got so far.
Well, here we are, folks. Here is what I've got for my Konflikt 47 Germans so far. At least what I think I'm going to run. I don't really know. I just know I got some cool units. I got them painted up. I got some cool basing schemes. So we're going to take a look at what we got so far. Kind of like what we did with the Marines. So to start off, we've got a pair of officers. And I don't really know how I'm going to fit out my platoons yet, because we don't know the rules yet. But that's cool. So we've got just the classic SS officers, if I can get the focus. Painted these guys up a while ago, but just got them on new bases today. So everything in the army right now, minus these ones, but are on Cobalt Keep bases. So 30 millimeter bases for the basic infantry, 40 mil for the Shrek Vulfin, a 60 mil, and then like a giant oval one that I found. The reason I moved them all onto these bases was, one, to redo the basing scheme, and two, so that they're all the bases are magnetized. So the Cobalt Keep ones have a nice magnet in the bottom of them, which is pretty neat. So like this 60 mil base, I've got some 10 millimeter magnets glued in there. On the Schwerfeld projector, yeah, a lot, because this thing is heavy. So yeah, the basing scheme I switched up from sort of the Green Meadow OG Konflikt 47 style to a more grimdark style, which is literally Kraut Cover Scenics, a Tale of Grimdark basing grit that comes with the resin skulls and bones mixed into it, with some army painter snow flock on top. I thought it looked pretty cool, so it'd be a really good, cool representation of some bombed out city somewhere in Russia or Ukraine, somewhere on the Eastern Front. So yeah, so we've got our first officer there, our second SS officer here. We can focus, new phone, yeah. So you see he's got his not P dot, crap, I can't remember what it's called, but the oak leaf camo on his tunic there. So these are kind of just like a rough representation of SS for the first edition, but we don't really know, something ruled by the Green Vault for second edition. So next up, we've got the SS Shock Troopers. So here's kind of our officer here. So these guys all have, I think they've all got basic pants, just field gray pants, but then they've got oak leaf tunics in both the spring and autumn pattern. I don't know why this is having such a hard time focusing. So like this guy is all in the spring pattern. This guy he's got the spring pattern tunic, and then he's got yeah, that really doesn't focus, does it? That's too bad. Has the autumn pattern helmet cover. Let's see if we can find someone with a little more. Yeah, you can see I've got sort of the autumn pattern cover in there. And I do have tutorials out there on how I paint those. So we've got the full 10-man squad with 8 assault rifles, and then this guy and that guy have the LMG. And then, of course, no Konflikt 47 Axis army would be complete without at least one squad of Totenkorps. I want more, just because I want to run a whole army of like Totenkorps and Shrek Vulfin and Nachtjagers, Nachtleben. It'd be great. So these are actually some of the first infantry I painted up. They've got a mix of uniforms, just plain field gray, and some with, the oak leaf pattern camo, and even a couple in sort of police German military police uniforms, which I found the color. It was, I'm pretty sure it's Meg color. Yeah, it's like German, yeah, Waffen SS Polizei Godan. Police green, we'll call it, from Ammo by Mig. And I saw that and I'm like, you know what? That would be fun to do. So we got those guys. Then the Shrek Vulfin. Love these guys so much. They're so much fun to paint. So I've got the original 6 that I did. These guys, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's right. So these guys that I did a while ago, just popped them on new bases. And I was actually able to find a used lot that had 3 more, which includes this guy. So I didn't notice in the picture that this particular one was missing his left arm. I wonder if I move out. So yeah. So what I ended up doing when it arrived, I found it out, and then I looked at the picture. I'm like, oh, well, I didn't catch that, but probably would have bought him anyway. So what I did was just use some 2mm Tamiya masking tape, wrapped it around his stump, made it a little bloody. So he's kind of like my veteran. He's painted a little brighter instead of, you know, just like a mid-tone gray. He's more my white wolf. You know, he's got the white fur there. So he's kind of like my veteran. If I had to, or if I get to pick an officer for my Shrek Vulfin, that'll be him. Hauptmann Hans Dietrich or something like that. No, Sturmbannführer. Captain. But yeah, these guys, super fun to paint. And they're also wearing a mix of oak leaf pattern camouflage and then just some plain field gray trousers on a couple of them. I've got 5 more to do, so I'm going to have 12 Shrek Vulfin, which is going to be awesome. I think some of them I'm going to do like brown fur, 2 of them I'm going to do black, and then probably just do plain field gray trousers. I think would be kind of cool. And then of course, decided to rebase my SS machine gun team. So the MG42 team. The usefulness of this, it makes sense that things like mortars and artillery and machine guns are still going to be somewhat effective in new Konflikt 47. So I figure get some stuff like that. I've got a mortar team I need to build still too. But, that's kind of one of the things is, something like a Panther or a King Tiger with a giant anti-tank gun is still going to blow stuff up. But I figure, even just like laying down smoke cover, even though, some have, night vision and infrared and all that, it might come in helpful. And, artillery is always going to be helpful. Totally. And then, of course, we've got the Schwerfeld projector, the Toad Schwerfeld projector. I've had this for like 2 years, but just actually painted it this last week. It was really fun to do. Turned out really, really well. Had some fun with the weathering on it. These are the only German armored infantry that I have at the moment. I'm going to have, a good amount of stall trooping when I get my pre-orders, when those come out. But this thing is just heavy. It was really fun to do. I'm really happy with the basing scheme. It turned out really, really well. And of course, this is sort of a modified ambush scheme, the camo that I'm doing for my vehicles. Not perfect, but it's fun to do. And it's kind of challenging, which is why I decided to do it that way. So we've got those going on for us. And then, of course, we've got to have something to tow that. So we've got a FAMO KFZ7. Now, this is a 3D print that I got about 2 years ago, year and a half ago, from Panacea Prints on Etsy. Turned out really well. It was really fun to paint. This is, a solid chunk of resin. Surprisingly detailed undercarriage, which, I didn't bother to paint. Yeah, it was really fun to paint because it turned out really well. It's not the perfect print because there's a lot of layer lines in it. And I don't know how well those are coming through, but you know what? It was like $13, so I'm happy with it. Pretty cool. Just yanked this guy off his base, but I figure a medic will probably still come in handy, It'd be pretty cool. So I got the SS medic from the command team. Need to put him on a new base. And then I literally just put an oil wash on my Spinny. So I've had this painted for a while and based, needed to rebase it. So I decided I was just going to strip it and repaint it. Just got the decals on yesterday. Of course, here's the turret, which I decided to slap the turret cover for a old resin KFZ 222 because I didn't want to paint the figure that rides in it. So yeah, So it's got a little hat now. Almost put the KFZ 222 turret on the Spinny. It doesn't fit terribly bad. It actually looks pretty cool. Man, now actually I kind of want to paint that up, kind of like low profile Spinny. I mean, I'll get a Vogel Spinny. Actually, I'm gonna get 2 of them, I think, when the new sets come out. Actually, that's pretty cool. Might have to paint that up. Anyway, yeah, so what else I'm thinking of adding to this? I mean, I'm going to get a bunch of stuff. I'm going to get the new, I've got a Panzer IV X already. Like, here's the turret. So this is the original dark yellow that I used. You can see, very different. It's the same green and brown that I used, but I didn't like this dark yellow. I used the Ammo by MiG Dunkelgelb on those instead. So I'll be getting basically all of this stuff, a bunch of stall trooping and that stuff. But what I think I want to do is I've got the Battle of the Bulge starter set. Is I'm going to take some of those Fallschirmjägers, paint them up, because that would fit the winter theme that I'm trying to go for. So that would be kind of cool just to have maybe a squad or 2 just as, you know, cannon fodder. So that would be kind of cool. But yeah. So here's what I've got. Most of this stuff is just been rebased. I think the only thing that's really been finished painting recently is the gravity gun, and then we'll get that Spinny finished up here probably within the next couple of days, because I'm going on vacation soon, so I want to have this have that done before I leave. But yeah, so that's what I've got for my Konflikt 47 German so far.
And there we go, folks. There's the start of my Axis army. Certainly not, no, by a long shot, not everything that I've got or am planning on getting, because, you know, certainly when I get my pre-order, I'll have a lot of stuff added to that. A lot of really awesome stuff. I just want to take a moment to just thank everybody for watching, you know, for liking the videos, for commenting. I started this just kind of as a lark after Adepticon a couple of years ago, and 400 subscribers. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy to me. It's, you know, like, yeah, it's awesome. So, I mean, that's why I like doing this content, you know, and I'm not trying to make money off it. I have a daytime job that pays my bills. This and the commission business is for fun. I like doing this just for, it's an excuse to buy new stuff and take a look at new products and things like that. So I love doing that kind of thing. But yeah, so thank you everybody that has watched over the years, and that has, you know, liked, you know, engaged with me, asked questions, anything, you know, I really appreciate everything. I try to respond to as many comments as I can. I don't get that many, so it shouldn't be a challenge. But yeah, so thank you everyone. I really, really appreciate you watching these episodes and checking stuff out. So I want to give a quick shout out. If you guys are looking for some great Horus Heresy content, I'm kind of almost entirely moved out of Heresy now with the release of 3rd edition. But if you're looking for some really good Horus Heresy content, check out my buddy Ned over at the Ineptus Astartes. I will put a link down below for that, so you can go check Ned out. I know he's got a really, I haven't watched the whole video yet, but a video called Schrodinger's Heresy. He takes a really good look at, you know, the 3rd edition of Horus Heresy and kind of the, excuse me, I don't want to say controversy around it, but just the community reaction to it and all that stuff. So definitely go check that out if you're interested in the Horus Heresy. Again, big shout out to my buddy Pete at Warlord Games. Again, Pete, thank you so much for coming on the other day. It was an absolute blast. Love getting to talk to you anytime that I can. Can't wait till we can meet up again at Adepticon 2026, baby. Yeah, so I'll give you guys just a quick pan around of my current surroundings here. Yep, I'm on vacation and I'm loving it. And back around to my ugly mug. Yeah, so as always, I really appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoy this special 400 subscriber episode. Maybe we'll put something else together again, a little more formal, once I get back home in a couple of days. But as always, check out those links down below. Still time to get in your pre-orders for Konflikt 47, so you can hit that Warlord Games link down below. I'm probably gonna be ramping up my Konflikt 47 content as we get closer to release and as we learn more information. Just today, in fact, the Soviet Union lore article came out on the Warlord Games community website, so definitely go check that out. It's a really good read. The artwork that Stefan Kapinski is doing is unbelievable. It is so cool. The one for the British Commonwealth, that automated infantry artwork, was so cool. I'm really hoping, hint, hint, that they'll offer those up as prints for sale at some point, because that artwork is awesome. It'll be really cool to put those up in the wall in the studio. So yeah, definitely hit that link, head on over there, get your pre-orders in. Yeah, there's still time to pre-order, so definitely get on top of that. And yeah, so if you, again, feel so inclined, like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, folks, as always, thanks again, and may your paints be thin, your brushes be pointy, and your dice be hot.